Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. President Obama speaking about Iraq. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Talking like a college professor, the president outlined the problems Iraq faces because different Muslim sects cannot get along. Mr. Obama's analysis was long on detail, short on solutions. Even though the Pentagon recommends bombing the al-Qaeda army, which is slaughtering thousands of people and threatening to overwhelm Iraq, Mr. Obama says he will not bomb the terrorists, who are moving back and forth across flat terrain to and from Syria. Instead, he's sending in about 300 American military advisors and asking for international help.
We have immediate problems with terrorist organizations that may be advancing. And rather than try to play whack-a-mole wherever these terrorist organizations may pop up, what we have to do is to be able to build effective partnerships, make sure that they have capacity.
So once again, the president seeks consensus from other countries rather than charting a direct course that might damage the evil al-Qaeda. Now, there are two things in play. First, what's happening inside Iraq, which few care about. Those people have been killing each other for centuries and are not likely to stop anytime soon. Iran, a Shia country next door, now holds power in southern Iraq. Who's going to counter that? No one. So let's stay out of Iraqi politics. We can encourage the Shia Sunni folks to be reasonable, but don't expect it. The second Iraq issue is very important to America. We defeated terrorism there at a great cost in blood and treasure. Now terrorism's back. We cannot defeat it again on the ground, but we can damage the terrorists from the air, and we should do that.
Airstrikes are an important factor, psychologically and many other ways, and that may require some forward air controllers and some special forces. We cannot afford to allow a Syria-Iraq enclave that will pose a direct threat to the United States of America.
As mentioned, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, agrees with Senator McCain, but President Obama dissents. Why? All I could glean from his remarks today is that he feels military action will lead to unintended consequences. Remember, he wouldn't pull the trigger in Syria on the poison gas deal, and generally is very cautious about direct action to right wrongs. He would rather have meetings. As Talking Point stated after the president pulled back on Syria, that emboldens our enemies. They don't believe Mr. Obama has the will to punish them. Putin, China, now al-Qaeda, all directly challenging America and the world. Even though President Obama's poll numbers are falling, he knows many Americans have lost the will to fight abroad. Iraq and Afghanistan have drained us. Mr. Obama is basically a man of theory, not action, a person who avoids evil rather than confronting it. And the evildoers know it. And that's a memo. Now, Impact segment tonight, defending America from the al-Qaeda surge in Syria and Iraq. As you may know, the ISIS army is controlling about a third of Iraq right now and is threatening Baghdad. President Obama proceeding very cautiously, as we stated. Is that the correct course? Join us in Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer, Senior Fellow at the London Center for Policy Research, and from Boston, Colonel David Hunt, Fox News military analyst. So if you were President of the United States, Colonel, what would you do?
I'd let it burn. Iraq is just about to fall completely. ISIS, if they look sideways at us, yes, kill them. And from a counter-terror standpoint, we should not get in, as we did not in Syria. We should not get in the middle of this war. It's been going on for 1,000 years. Americans have done enough. 300 special forces on the ground. I promise you that the president's sending is wrong. They're not staying in Baghdad. They're going to the field to advise. Otherwise, they have no help.
Okay.
I think this is a place we should not go back to.
And the logical conclusion of letting it burn is that it would be a stalemate, because Iran would come in, fight on the Shia side. The ISIS terror army couldn't defeat them. So you would have a de facto country that the south would be run by Iran, and the north would be run by the al-Qaedas, with the Kurds carving out their little piece. Now, from the al-Qaeda stronghold in the north, these people base. These people organize. These people get stronger, as they did in Afghanistan, and they launch attacks on Israel. They launched attacks on America, this and that. So you're willing to let that happen, Colonel Hunt?
No, I'm not letting it happen, Bill. And you know me better. I said that's not what I said. If ISIS starts that stuff, we wipe them. The problem right now is if you start shooting at them inside Mosul and
from the air, right?
Just no. We can send teams. We can send counterterrorism teams. And I do not want us. We should have learned. Do not get in the middle of this civil war right now.
But you're not really clearly answering my question. Give it some thought. Let's go to Colonel Schaefer. You disagree with Colonel Hunt, right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. No. I love Dave, but he's wrong on this. They've already threatened us. They're going to threaten us. They're trying to create conditions so that they can start sustaining themselves and create camps to do things to attack us here. They've already said that. So what the president said today, he should have said 6 months ago. The intel peace bill should have already been working hard. And we need to look at two things right now. First off, define our strategic interests. Clausewitz once said, war is policy by other means. We need to define what our policy interests are. President Obama didn't do that today. One of them we need to be concerned about are the oil fields. And I don't mean to make this simply about oil, but the Kurds are going strong to try to establish their own state. Dave, you've been there. You've seen that they're autonomous. We need to be helping them. And for goodness sake,
all of that, Americans are getting a headache of that, and I don't blame them. I want to know, Colonel Schaefer, what you would do about this al-Qaeda army. That's what I want to know. I don't care about the Kurds tonight. I don't care about the other stuff. What would you do about the al-Qaeda army?
All right, we have a larger policy that on my senator's website. With that said, two things immediately. You need to figure out the centers of gravity of ISIS, and you can slow it down. Airstrikes and drones and special operations forces only will deny the enemy progress. We need to stop that now. Stop the bleeding now. And then
Tony, there's no center of gravity.
Tony, let me finish. There's
no center of gravity with ISIS.
Yes, there is.
Hold
it. Okay, look. So you say, Colonel Schaefer, that you would use air power on them now to try to weaken them. Is that correct?
You need to slow down their progress.
Okay.
They are not giants.
Let me get over to Colonel Hunt. Let me get over to Colonel Hunt. So, if we do what you suggest, and it burns, and then the stalemate comes to pass, which it would, then you have these crews going in between Syria and Iraq. Do you attack them there, Colonel Hunt?
I got no problem with killing ISIS, which is not al-Qaeda, Bill. It's a separate, absolute organization. And the head of ISIS we had in prison in 2009 and let him go.
Exactly.
I got no problem killing ISIS. You do not get in the middle of a Shia-Sunni war again.
All right, I got that.
Period. You don't do it. I have no problem killing ISIS. Let this thing settle. Do not look. How about we lose a couple of special forces guys? We get a plane shot down. We're up to our eyeballs again. No.
All right. Gentlemen, thanks very much. We appreciate it. We have a brand new Bill O'Reilly.